Here are some of the biggest and worst mistakes to make in cryptocurrency. Ultimately, that will end up costing you thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, I'm really not joking. If you are someone that is somewhat experienced in crypto, right down to someone who is just beginning, this video is going to be very important. It might just brush up on knowledge, or it's going to introduce you to some thought-provoking ideas that hopefully will make you change your ways, or at least just give you a first step in the door to make some drastic changes, okay? It's very important everyone understands this, at least people that watch my channel and follow me, because I want you guys succeeding in crypto. Honestly, everyone can win. Most people can win, and so that's kind of what I'm here for. Let me break down what I'm saying. The first thing we're going to have to do, and what I'm going to try to do in this video, is pull back the curtain, okay, together. I'm going to break down some of the mistakes I see done all too often. Again, emphasis on newbies, and when I say newbies, people 6 months or younger within the space itself. I know it does feel like 10 years, but you're still technically a newbie. I'm going to introduce you to some of the things you don't typically see as well, right? Things that only influencers, as much as I hate that word, only really see, such as myself, okay? But it's going to give you some good insight into what you're looking at on the other end that you don't ever see. And ultimately, I just wish someone told me this when I first got into crypto. It would have made me a hell of a lot wiser, a hell of a lot quicker, okay? So let's break it down. Now, this is essentially the average crypto user, and we have the crypto influencers. Now, I want to say for a record, it probably is a level beneath this, which is the projects themselves, dirt of the dirt. I don't mean that in a bad way all the time, right? But essentially, as crypto users, you're only getting the sort of green side of the stick, right? So what are you most susceptible to as the average Joe? Well, friend groups, peers, family, whatever it might be, saying, hey, check this new coin out. It's awesome. You should buy it because we bought it, right? We've all had it before. We've all had influencers themselves saying, you should buy this project, or, for example, this is the last chance this coin will be this cheap. The list just simply can go on forever and ever. We also have that mentality of it's going to go up in price. We feel FOMO. Oh my God, like it's going to go up. I'm going to miss out. And if I miss out, I'm not going to make my millions and I'm going to be stuck in this job. And then your mind carries away. There is a way you can fight this. Traders all the time have to fight this themselves, okay? There is like many, many books on psychology specifically for trading, and there really should be for investing because it's probably worse. And it's the most important sort of things within that field, okay? So we're going to touch a little bit on that today, but underneath the surface, it does get very disgusting. I want to say it's not all the time. I don't really want anyone thinking that crypto is this big bad wolf that everyone's being lied to. No, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that there's probably only 200, maybe at best 300 projects out of the 25,000+ that are out there that are actually genuinely trying to do good, and the rest will be shaken out ideally by about 2030, ideally, okay? So this is what the crypto influencer tends to feel, or at least has offered to them, right? For starters, many scams email us, right? Can you promote our NFT/project? We have the businesses themselves on the other side of it. How can we get more people to buy our coin? You're constantly, every time you go to a website, you are essentially being copywritten or essentially mind-effed, tricked into making you want to buy that project. They're just putting their best stuff forward. And that's why I always say, if a project's bad, it does mean that the project probably is bad itself, because that's like their main selling point, okay? And the last one is, I only care about my back pocket. This is influencers talking. So you must be very careful, because a lot of influence, I'm not calling anyone out by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want to do that, but you have a lot of them publishing, and you can spot them pretty easily, publishing videos that are just like straight shills. And it's dangerous, because if you are especially new, if you're more sort of intermediate/advanced, you're not going to fall for that kind of stuff, but it does wreck a lot of people. You, if that is you, are exit liquidity for these types of people. But let me kind of explain a bit before we go into a bit more detail about these individual situations and how to kind of overcome them. So this is an example of what, as I'm trying to break the third wall, or essentially just pull back that curtain. This is what we kind of get every day as an influencer, okay? So, to ABS cryptos, let's promote our project. NFT, coin, meme coin, whatever it might be. So, this John Doe from X project, we love your content, blah, blah, blah. They always try to make you feel good. Wondering if you'd like to partner with us to bring our amazing project to your community. Now, I want to say I get a lot of good projects coming to me, but it's probably like 20 to 1 in terms of bad to good, right? So we are currently offering $3,000 for a paid promotion. You'd be surprised, guys. People with 10, 20, 30, 50,000 subscribers, some of them, as long as the view counts are there, are getting paid thousands of dollars. I want to say for the record, since we're on the subject, I haven't done one of these reviews for months, and if I ever do, you will know because it'll be the first thing I say about the project before I actually ever review it, okay? Just want to say that for the record. And they say, could you please give us your prices, right? I get 1 to 3 of these every single day, and that's me at 20,000 subscribers. You can imagine the guys at a few 100,000 subscribers. It is very easy for them to be affiliated with marketing groups, and they pretty much message them and say, hey, we've got a coin. I've been, multiple times now given this, hey, you want to get in this ICO, promote it, no, all right? That's not what I'm about, and ultimately it can get me as a person in big trouble as well. So let's break it down. Let's pull back the first curtain here, and it's breaking free from your current limitations. Now, this is truly going to save you thousands of dollars. I've made multiple videos on this sort of topic, but how do you do it? How do you actually save yourself thousands of dollars by breaking free of this? Mental limitations. Well, number one, you got to become mentally tough. I'm going to show you how in a second. And number two is create your own, do your own research, okay? So first thing I say to people, and especially my students, is you must apply mental filters. Every single time you go into crypto, you wake up, ideally guys, and I've got this for free, by the way, I'll leave it down below. It's my full A to Z guide on actually finding cryptocurrencies, but you must go ahead and apply these because sometimes it's easy to get carried away in the sort of hype of things, and this will bring you back down to ground zero, right? So I'm not going to go through all of these. You can read them on your screen and pause the video right now if you'd like to. It is a little bit blurry. I do apologize, but I'll read a few of them, right? So trust no one. That's at the very, very top of the list. No one's trying to help you. Okay, so don't try to help anyone else. Cryptocurrencies are businesses. What do businesses have to do? Make money somehow. 95% of cryptocurrencies are designed to steal your money. That is just a fact. Again, that 5% probably is those 200 or 300 projects. And most scams are looking to sell you their token. The utility/future demand should be enough to sell you, okay? So in their websites, and if they're on Twitter saying, hey, you got to buy our token, guys, because our token's good for utility, and they're talking about their token and the price of the project and blah, 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 and they just seem hyper-focused on bringing you information regarding the current price. I mean, you don't see Coca-Cola and things like that saying, hey, our share price today was this and you guys should go ahead and buy some of our shares. No, they let the project or the company speak for itself. So need I say more? You guys should understand that is actually 50% of the problem right there. The other 50% is most of you, and I'm going to say this again, most of you don't do this. And you know who you are. I used to be one of the people for a long time. Do your own research, guys, but this is going to help you out, right? So again, you probably can't really see this, but go down below. Again, I've got that free A to Z guide so you guys can collect that. But this is what I've kind of devised as the most complicated sort of method if you wanted to actually check everything, but you can just cherry pick from this sheet right here. So it's quite elaborate. Again, cherry pick from the list and create what works for you based on your skill level and time. If you only have an hour or two a day to research, you might just want to pick the most, what you deem as easiest to do or the fastest thing to pretty much do in that period of time, okay? So that might be check the narrative first, check the meme, team, investors, advisors, tokenomics, and roadmap. So, it doesn't have to be complicated like this. And as you go through it, this is how I learned myself. You might pick the narrative, right? What is a narrative? What are we talking about? What's previous narrative? You can spend a whole week or two just on narrative. And once you understand that fundamentally, you can move on to, understanding these more complicated and then build out. You can build out and get quite gnarly, okay? So we don't want to do that just yet, especially if you are new, but that is going to obviously help you save lots of money because you aren't then relying on the advice or consensus of a majority of influencers or your friend group, for example, or family. You're now coming up with your own sort of ideas by yourself. And this is going to lead me into step 2. And this is something I get criticized about quite a bit, or at least have in the past. That's being pessimistic, right? Question the status quo. Don't just follow the damn narrative, guys, right? So you want to profit from it, of course. You want to spot it, and if you can, make some money, but don't let it dictate you, okay? Hopefully that understands, that's pretty plain English, but for those of you who aren't really understanding what that means, yes, you want to definitely buy, like DeFi Summer, for example, you want to always take advantage of that and buy the narrative, but don't let it dictate you. Okay, now following narratives has its benefits, of course, as I say, in the general market sense, DeFi, oracles, layer 1, layer 2, but in terms of individual projects, just because everyone says, project X is good, doesn't mean you have to go along with it. I'm going to give you an example in just a second, but if this was a project, you can see, poke your holes in the shit, okay? It might be a project like Ethereum, everyone loves and talks about it. You might be really infatuated with it, so you might do extra research and you come to say, hey, I've done like 10 hours of research, which ain't that much, right? But you've gone, there's a fair few problems here, right? And so you can voice that or you might hold that, but you might get a bit of pushback from people you talk to, and that's okay. I'm gonna tell you why in just a second. So again, poke as many holes as you can. Ask stupid questions. I cannot tell you enough. I asked so many damn stupid questions when I first started. Of course, Google's a friendly, even have AI now to help you out. But when you ask stupid questions, it is actually good because you'll get a pretty plain answer and you won't want to make the same mistake again. Also, follow your gut. Crypto sounds complicated, but a lot of it is common sense. You don't know how many times I've gone ahead and researched into the deep technicals, especially when I was learning some of the more basic things like Merkle trees, for example. And I was like, okay, so this is how it kind of works. Is it really that simple though? That's kind of like just this and this and this. And then, you do some more follow-up research and you go, oh my God. And the thing is, when you have that aha moment yourself, when you go, okay, well, what makes a good team? It's this and that. And if I use some previous examples of projects, okay, what made this project do better? The team. And then when you have that aha moment, it's so damn satisfying. It's like watching 1,000 TikToks at once. Plus also you retain that for life. And this again is going to save you thousands of dollars because you're not going to listen to someone telling you the narrative or the general crypto narrative, right? There's so many things I go against in this space and I do get a lot of flack from it, right? You might be ridiculed, shunned by the entire community. Second guess yourself even, which actually can be very detrimental, or feel angry or embarrassed. But ultimately, in the end, even if they were right, you still win because you learned something. I know, how cheesy does that sound? Oh, I still learned something, half full, not half empty sort of thing, right? Trust me, there's so much to understand and learn in crypto. It's okay to be wrong more times than you're right, as long as you're not putting your money in something that you were wrong in, okay? So you want to learn the hard way. Go in groups, go in, Discord, Telegram, whatever it might be. Ask stupid questions. Go in Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces are a wealth of knowledge. Raise your hand. Ask some stupid questions. People who are educated in crypto, people who are genuinely here to help people and learn or teach, they want you to ask those stupid questions so they can teach you, okay? It's as simple as that. Someone who ridicules you for asking a stupid question, they have the problem, not you. Now, this is a prime example. I recently somewhat criticized a project called 𝗡cie𝗿𝗡𝗡, and again, I don't want to make this video and point at them and say, oh, this is a bad project. But I was introduced to this project by a really good community member of mine, and I felt bad when I did some research. I went, well, he was really hyped up about me researching it. I did some basic stuff and I'm just like, this ain't it. I'm not going to talk crap about 𝗡cie𝗿𝗡𝗡, but you guys can watch my video on it. But yeah, I just didn't think it was it. And I have a lot of my qualms with the individual project. So yeah, but I had to make that public, right? And obviously I had a lot of people who agree with me, a lot of people who disagree with me. Time will tell who ultimately wins. Either way, I will learn something very valuable from that. Number 3, the devil on your shoulder is winning. I can't say enough how many newbies feel for this. Matter of fact, I probably should retract that statement because a lot of people fall for this. A lot of people fall for this. Advanced, and again, this is why they have psychology books in trading, okay? So if the market's red and you're feeling annoyed, sad, you're second guessing yourself, or you want to sell, right? Again, you're falling for the emotions, and we'll talk about how you can combat this in a second. On the contrary, on the green side, if you feel like you're missing out, excited, want to buy all the time, you're checking your phone at work, you're anxious, this is a prime sort of indicator that you need to get sort of your conviction right. You need to get your mental right. And so this leads me to my next point. It's because you aren't fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So when the market's obviously green, okay, you need to be a little bit more fearful. Why is it going up so much? Maybe I should look at selling. That's when you should be like, okay, maybe I should start to take some profits here. On the contrary, if it's red, aka green, you got to be greedy, right? Right now, the markets go down. Okay, I want to buy some more of my project. You actually get excited, at least I definitely do. So it's the other way around. We got to flip our mentality 180 here. So convicted in all of your altcoins. You must be convicted, and you really only pretty much become convicted, right, when you know your investments, when you've done your research, you're bought in because you believe in it, and you won't care when it's down. If you believe in, again, I'm going to use, Coca-Cola, for example, and you buy Coke shares, you're not buying because, hey, look, I'm buying Coke because everyone told me to buy Coke. No, you're buying Coke because you look at the business model first. The same thing applies with crypto, guys. It's no different, right? So we must change that mentality and buying based on your own research. So you've combined no research with a consensus on quality of a project from influencers. This was kind of going back to my point earlier. You don't want to be buying because of others' research. It's a one-way ticket to feeling that negative emotion. You're now affiliating the quality of a project, let's say Cardano, with its price. If it's up, it's a good day. If it's down, it's a bad day for you. And that is something you have to get out of. And it's usually because, again, you're following the sort of guide of influencers, right? And their consensus. Again, you might pick 10 influencers, 7 out of the 10 say it's good. Hey, well, it must be good. They provide me some research. Chances are most crypto YouTubers aren't getting the facts straight. Okay, even I make mistakes, so you must double check yourself. And again, buy like your life depended on it. Just like if you were spending your friend's money, you wouldn't want to put your friend's money, if you had the custody of that and the responsibility to invest hypothetically for that person or family friend, you would obviously want to be very careful with how you spent it. Imagine if your life depended on you making these returns. You're going to want to do a lot more research. I cannot stress it enough. Now, with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video right to the very end. I appreciate you for that. The video on your left is the next 3 months are crucial in crypto. And guys, this is probably one of my most important videos you should watch. I highly suggest you click on this. But also, if you want to see me build a portfolio, click over here. I build it A to Z and give you the whole guide. All right, take good care, guys. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye.